when I met Emil, because I had this infection mad dog energy, and Emil looked at me and he said, man, like, you're either gonna be very successful or you're gonna die.
I'm saying the same thing today.
Yeah. Everything has been planned rigorously. I mean, I've been just watching things unfold for the past 10 years.
So we are 100% bold in order to commit publicly to something like that.
I have documented the past 10 years from working on 2 construction sites back in 2016 until now, because I knew that at some point people will start looking at me and will tell me that I'm crazy.
In this episode, we are sitting down with someone I've known for a long time, Laurentiu Clenci. We grew up professionally in the same ecosystem. I saw him in the early Neurony days when everything was scrappy, intense, and very hands-on. Back then, it was just about doing the work, fixing the problems, figuring things out as we went. Today is about much more.
Rewired. Raw, real, unfiltered.
Hi, we are together today with Laurentiu, my friend for so many years. We've grown together in the real sense of the way, but with a small difference in age, very small. We've
Insignificant.
been insignificant. Yeah, we've been through good times and through bad times. We've been through multiple, let's say, jobs and companies that Laurentiu was involved into in our group, and we are here today because Laurentiu has started for some time a new business that was in the shadows, and it's coming out this week.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful
Laurentiu,
news.
welcome.
100%, guys. Thank you very much for having me. And actually, thank you for everything, because like it's been 7 years since we've known each other. And, you know, as I've mentioned before getting started, the Casa d'Amato thing with Mike Tyson, like I've always felt that you were the one trainer I needed in order to be able to compete properly and to be able to get where I needed to be, right? So let's get started.
I'm glad to be by your side.
So just a second. So 7 years. So how did you two meet?
Well, actually, I moved to Bucharest for university in October 2018. So it was almost like 7 years and like 4 months ago. And while I was going to the university, I was reading a book that I borrowed from Romanian business leaders because I was a volunteer there. A guy approached me, like a random guy. I've never met that guy before and everything. And the guy approached me. I was reading Screw Business as Usual from Richard Branson, and we were similar in age. And he mentioned, "Wow, that's so cool that you're reading business books and stuff. Like I'm a volunteer for VIP, it's called in Romanian, Voluntar pentru Idei și Proiecte, and like you should definitely meet a guy. Like I have a very, like we started talking and stuff, and he mentioned you should definitely meet a guy. Like his name is Ștefan Oros, and like he has a lot of potential. And all the fun stuff, because I mentioned to him that I'm working on a wedding operating system back then, right?
I remember.
You remember what, right?
I remember.
And he actually made the intro to Ștefan. I came in to Bucharest like for university, but unfortunately my dad, like on the 5th day when I was here, had a terrific accident and he lost one of his eyes, and like his right eye, and I didn't have any money, right? So I couldn't pay the bills or stuff, and actually through the connection that I had with Ștefan had interned at Yalok, one of the companies that Emil co-founded.
All right.
So serendipity, as Emil likes to put it, has always been on our side, right? So because I didn't have any money, and Ștefan actually became my co-founder in Wedful. I was on the business development side and getting partnerships and everything else, and he was on the technical side. He was brilliant in terms of like the technical stuff. I asked him, man, I need a job. I mean, I don't have any money. I need to do something because I can't ask for money from my parents. My parents are, like my mom is actually the janitor of the same school like I've been to from the first grade to the 8th grade. So, and my dad had the accident and everything else. So I couldn't ask them for any money. And I was like, just help me get something. He introduced me to actually Cosmin.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got there. I had my CV polished. I just got there, and one day I met with Cosmin, and he got that CV. He put it aside and he was like, now let's talk. Like, he didn't even look at that CV because I had that CV from my summer job because I started working at Consilo. It's a company based in Sibiu, and they're doing outsourcing for like cold calling and stuff like that. And we were working on a project for, I won't mention brands or stuff, but I had the CV prepared for them because I had to go through the whole process of getting hired there. I went there with Cosmin, and Cosmin just put it aside, and that's how I got started at Yalok.
Cosmin is the CEO of Yalok,
Yalok.
that company that is growing even today.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you don't know that story. Cosmin came to me after a couple of weeks, or I don't know, I think 2 months, and said, we hired a great guy, Laurentiu. He has a huge amount of potential. You need to meet him. And this is how we...
Okay, very interesting.
Got started.
So what you're doing today?
So right now we are focused on building Europe's Applied AI Research Lab. So I have personally been focused on AI since November 2022 when ChatGPT was launched by OpenAI. And throughout these years, I've always been focused on, what kind of impact can it have on businesses? Because that's where my expertise lies, right? Every single company that I've been with within Neurony's ecosystem has been focused on the B2B side. Last year, because that we had the project together for Neurony, because the whole process, we need to give some context. I mean, people that would look at this will understand that context is a very important thing for me, and actually our head of performance is always telling me that this kills momentum. I mean, momentum in conversations, but context is very, very, very important. So I've got started at Yalok. I've been there for exactly 1 year and 2 months actually, and then I got started at Yarums, right, within the same ecosystem, because Emil has multiple businesses that he's
very famous,
yeah, he's very famous.
He also has a podcast, a very successful one.
100%, and now it's just getting started through this episode. It's I won't get into that because I have a very specific quote that I wanted to get into, like always try to walk among the giants, kind of. Have you seen Troy? I mean, I'm changing subjects, but have you seen Troy, the movie from 2004 with Brad Pitt, Hector and stuff? Have you seen the king that convinced Achilles to join the fight when he was fighting with his cousin Patroclus?
I can't remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have your memory. Yeah. So.
Okay. Yeah.
But
so
we saw Troy.
Well,
we saw it. Yeah, let's go. Yes, we saw.
It's
that moment.
That moment. Yeah. At the end of the movie, actually, he said, if I may just get this out, because I actually wanted to go through this together today. He mentioned, if they ever tell my story, let them say I walked with giants. Men rise and fall like the winter wheat, but these names will never die at the end of the movie, right? So it was very important for me to be among these giants, the people that I've been looking up to, and that's what Emil has provided for the past 7 years for me personally, right? Now, getting back a bit, because I know
You're diverging.
Yeah, I'm diverging a bit. Getting back to the story, so I've been at Yalok, and then because the pandemic came and then the whole restaurants industry was, how it was for the
suffering.
Suffering for the first 9 to 12 months until things got a bit better. I mean, it was just the pandemic, right? I moved to Yarums, the hybrid workplace experience platform. Then I had actually moved to work directly with Emil on Neurony, because Neurony as a structure, I mean, I'm not promoting it directly, but I have to give some context. Neurony as a structure has always been supportive of the great people that have worked there, and they, instead of leaving and starting their own company, Emil provided them with the needed resources to start their own company and provide the necessary capital. For example, I know that you brought Cosmin back from Netherlands, right? When he was working at the Fork or something like that. So Yarums as well in 2013, when you started among the first in the world, when you started the meeting room booking platform back then, and you were competing with Condeco, and I loved those guys because I also competed with them when we started working on the hybrid workplace experience stuff. Also won some deals there. Stole some deals from them. But that's how I got started, actually. So Neurony has been the perfect playground. And because AI has like started going into this direction, into actually getting out of POCs and getting into production and understanding results and ROIs and everything else, I just decided, okay, now let's focus on this. And everything that's AI related starts from, of course, the US right now, at least. I've been watching great companies from Silicon Valley, and one company actually stuck with me. They were named Cursor, and actually they're still named Cursor because their mission, they got started as an applied AI research lab with the mission of creating the engineer of the future. And within the first 30 months, since they launched their product, Cursor, they got to 500 million in ARR, which means annual recurring revenue. And for me, it was like insane. Like you never see these kind of things, right? You never see these kind of things. And I was like, okay, now I got all
in
of
the frame of reference that we had until 2022.
Exactly.
This, as we are going forward, we will see more and more this type of behaviors.
I'm working very hard to make sure that you'll see one from Romania.
Because you're working on?
Because we're working on something very, very special. So
you mentioned, just to go back a little bit before you went into the context around how you get here. So you're working something about European procurement. So just tell me a little more before you go into, what are you guys going to launch? Just tell me a little about who is the company that actually today you are part of it, you were dreaming with. What's the aim that it's try to achieve, or the problem that tries to solve? And then we walk a little to what you guys are launching, I think this week, right?
Yeah, definitely. So when it comes, please go ahead.
No.
So when it comes to the product or how the company got started, actually last year, because I had like 2 months hiatus after we worked together. I was back into my village, actually, just enjoying life. I had a crazy experience.
At the farm.
Exactly right. I was at the farm. I was just enjoying life. I was whatever. One of my good friends had a company, a friend of his that wanted to build a product. He is an electrical installations company called, I won't get into the details, and I'm very specific. I like to be as specific as possible based on all of this memory, and that's why I'll need your help.
You can name things because
it's fine.
Not a problem.
So he put them in touch with me because he knew that we were working on AI stuff, and then because I had a very, very good relationship with Neovision, it is called. Neovision is a product studio that started back in 2015, and they had excellent track record in building software projects. For example, I don't know, CRM, CRPs, websites, all kind of technology, right? So I went to them with the opportunity, and that guy was very specific because he tried to build this over the past almost 2 years. So since the beginning of 2023, and everyone was giving him 10 times almost than what we have requested him in terms of building this this tool for his internal processes. He came with that request, an electrical installations company that needed to understand a bit more about just how to automate the process, how to make it better with AI.
When you're saying the process, can you specifically detail what is the process?
Sure. So at that point, they were receiving. May I get into very
details because people do not know exactly what's the challenge there.
If you're bidding in private projects, what happens is that the beneficiary, the client, comes to you and they're offering you a BOQ, a bill of quantities, right?
What? Sorry.
Bill of quantities.
Bill of quantities.
A list with all of the
items that you need to buy.
That you need to buy. Exactly right. So then, what he needed to do is he had a 12-step process. For understanding the requirement and then, of course, being able to bid on that project. So that's actually how everything happened back then. Almost 4 weeks.
So just to clarify, so for example, if I'm a company that wants to buy 1,500 phones, for example, on that I would just make the specification on that list just to be sure.
Yes, that's right. But we are referring to very focused, exactly right, on blue collar industry. So we are focused on more
construction related,
construction related, manufacturing related.
Yeah, I was just trying to understand. So that list of things is specification related to
So
the
it's also
characteristics,
items, but
or-
also operations that need to be done. So, for example, mounting cables on the wall, or
All right.
Exactly right.
creating modes,
So
or
functionalities of-
functionalities and things that you are expressing either in meters of digging or whatever.
Got it.
And the
Number
entire
of
process, going through the 12-step process, he had to actually wait until, I mean, his team was working at maximum capacity, so they were bidding for one project within like 4 weeks.
In order for people to understand, don't name all of the steps in the process, but name a couple of steps in the process.
Sure. So first you get the inquiry from the customer, and then you have to get that BOQ that you received, and then just break it down on categories and subcategories. Because, like, for example, you have cables in one part, and you have like the foundation and whatever else that needs to happen, operations and everything else. And then you need to take that, and if you don't have the internal capabilities to deliver that thing, then you have to go to your supply chain, to your partners, to your subcontractors, and then just ask them for quotes. And that everything, so he had to get the BOQ, then split it and break it down, and then put it in like categories and subcategories, and then get that and go to their supply chain. I mean, vendors everywhere, you know, like folders in how is it called, like SharePoint, right, from Microsoft. So because everyone is a Microsoft shop nowadays when you're talking construction, and everything was manual. Literally everything. So his team had an Excel file with hundreds of items, maybe thousands, with tens of sheets and everything else. So what we did, okay, now he already did the process mining phase. So when he came to us, he came with everything, like he was super prepared. Like this guy had tried building this internally with ChatGPT. Because like this is what normally happens, right? He just exactly right, through custom GPTs and everything else, and it just didn't work. So when he came to us, like we understood that when you're building an AI first project, whatever it is, like if it's like agentic based or whatever else, you need to have someone that has created or that understands AI in depth, right? So we then reached out because like these guys have always like no vision, right? As a product studio, they've built like bicycles, but now we had to build a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like, of course, sure, it needs to get there.
Yes, there are wheels, there are engines, but they're different.
Exactly right. Right, so it's a different thing between like a Ducati Diavol, right, that you like Marius has from Arums, and like it goes like 300 kilometers an hour, and it's another one for my 49 centimeter moped, you know, that I can get to 25 kilometers an hour.
It took me 5 seconds to realize that is the bike, that's the motorbike.
Yeah.
You were thinking about bicycle, right?
Yeah, no, I was thinking about cars, yeah, but
No. Marius is like a huge guy on motorcycles, yeah. So, for context, Marius is the COO of Yarums. And when we realized that, I was telling the guys, to be honest, like I'm not even interested in this opportunity because I wanted to move to Dubai. I wanted to get a VC job there. I mean, I wanted to become kind of an operator within a VC, helping portfolio companies just increase their sales, growing. Exactly right. Because I was always focused on like go-to-market side of things. I've never been like of course, like when I was at Yarums, I had a lot of
freedom and responsibility,
and I've understood how to prioritize bootstrapped. When you're bootstrapped, how to prioritize features, how to ask for money,
So you wanted to go to Dubai?
Yeah, I wanted to move to Dubai actually last year. Yeah, after I reached out to Emil. Emil, if you can please just give me a recommendation, because I went so meticulously about this whole preparation for Dubai that everything was like, I truly need to go there. I just wanted to move there, right?
So what did the guys actually hook you with that made you change your plan?
That's a very good question.
Man.
Actually, so we send the quote to this customer, to our partner now, because we had to buy back the IP, to our partner from this electrical installations company.
The guy who was trying with the
with ChatGPT and custom GPT stuff, and he signed and paid the first invoice within the first 3 weeks. So when I've seen a sales cycle like from end to end, so simple, I was like, oh my God.
It was not very small.
It was not very small. I mean, it wasn't at all small. It was 6 figures.
Yeah.
Right? So when I've seen, like, in the beginning of the 6 figures, right? Because like we had a deal, he didn't like whatever, like we split the IP, we just made a lot of things because like our assumption was that, okay, perfect. Now, as I've had the experience from our startup studio, maybe if this guy needs it so bad, maybe we can spin it off and create a separate project for it. So I've always been focused on, okay, now let's try to hold on to some IP because at some point maybe we can negotiate to get it down a bit, just buy the IP back and going forward. But what I would say that was super important was the fact that when I realized that we need an AI guy that has been involved with AI before and stuff. Actually, my colleague Adi, who's also co-founder of Neovision Group, reached out to the third co-founder of the company, and they knew each other from football. This guy has been an math Olympic, like when you're a child to, how is it called in English, like Olympiade?
Olympics,
yeah. Right? Like the math Olympics. Like he had like 4 or 5 when he was a child. Then at 19, he's from a city, but it's not like big city here in Romania, right? So he came to Bucharest, he interned at, and then he became like 21.
Yeah.
So the guy was brilliant and is brilliant. Like I've never seen someone with such a technical depthness, even though like he's young, right? Because right now, whatever, he has a lot of big tech experience. So when it comes to this, like we just asked him, man, like, can you just help us with a couple of things? Like, for example, can you like prepare the quote or just give us some hints regarding what we should do, how to approach this? Because like literally, I have no idea. Within 3 days, we got like 60 pages of documentation of the technical infrastructure that needed to be in place for that thing. And like I haven't seen anything like it. And not even my colleagues that delivered over 200 software projects saw anything like this within the first 3 days, right? And then it just happened. It just started. I mean, that's how it all got started. Like the client was super happy with everything. Like, of course, the construction company, I mean, they didn't understand, okay, now what is happening when you do RAG on this or whatever.
So today when you say, well, from the manual, they actually do everything automated, but how the life has actually changed for somebody there?
So their process got reduced from 4 weeks to 5 days. From 4 weeks to 5 days. And they started using the system actually, I think like 5 or 6 months ago. Because like we're very fast, we are operating within kind of a waterfall framework where we deliver the system, and then it was more of a co-development partnership. We developed the first module, sent it to them, used it, tested it, and then moved forward.
How many more projects were they able to bid on per month?
That's a very good question. We're still going through the process of like understanding the difference in bids. I know that they've processed through the system 13 million euros of bids. So that's the total amount of the bids that they have processed through the system.
Do you know how many were won?
That's another thing that we have to focus on because we're actually building the ROI case with them to be able
return on investment case.
Yeah, exactly right. So we're building the ROI case. We have the ROI case with them on like overall because I needed the amount to be able to put it in the pitch deck and everything else because we actually built 2 products, two related products to public procurement as an applied AI research lab, not just one. And I will mention that one as well. But regarding the process. So for a construction company that like what we have built for them is a module, and this is the financial module. So when you're bidding for private projects as a construction company,
financial is the most important area.
Exactly right, because you don't need the eligibility phase, you don't need the other phase like the technical phase, right? You don't need to find the projects on the national like SEAP, CCAP, whatever. Because the process was we needed to get out in the world with this project that we got started on. I've decided, okay, I'm not moving to Dubai anymore. When I've seen like a sales cycle of 2 weeks, I was like, okay, then we're in business, right? We decided to build the first AI studio in Romania, which is called NeoXAI, one of the brands, and that's why actually Neovision became kind of the group, the parent company, and this was the Applied AI Research Lab. However, the individual brands were built. So, for example, Neovision Dev, the product studio, still the same, still delivering value to customers, nothing changed. But we have built NeoXAI. NeoXAI is the first AI studio in Romania, and then of course we built Neovision Ventures. And I've sent to you the mural link, right? Actually, I'll make everything public regarding everything, all the frameworks that we have used so far. I'll make everything public because I truly believe that Europe needs to be able to build startups, and this is the kind of value that we have to provide. So all the materials that I've sent to you, of course, some of them I can't share with everyone because like those are some confidential things, but everything will be shared among the European startups, just to make sure that all the knowledge that we have worked for like 7 years can be accessed like from day one.
So our viewers could actually see them in the comments.
Yes.
sections,
Yeah. So I'll provide everything.
So, in order to understand, the first product that you have built, that was a custom product that you have built for an electrical installation company and solved a very specific problem, and that is the financial bidding section. That is shortens the time from 4 weeks to 1 week.
Exactly right.
But I believe that this is not the product that you are launching today.
Exactly right.
What is the product that you are launching today? And try to make it in an elevator pitch.
Okay, perfect. So once we got started as Romania's first AI studio, we started reaching out to, I think, 7,200 companies across multiple industries. We reached out to around 140 construction companies. And when they saw what we have, because we have created this Forbes article with this electrical installations company, when they saw that we're building that, everyone was like, okay, let's meet. Let's discuss this. So we had a 10%, around like 11% conversion rate from outreach to meetings with them. We've met with the construction companies and everyone was like, I need this. I also need this. And I was like, yeah, but we're working with them. I mean, after the first couple of months, after starting developing the system, we realized that Alex, the guy from this company, wanted to actually build a product. However, he couldn't build the product himself because when you're dealing with like, is it a time to stop or? Okay, okay. I thought I'm talking too much because I know that Emil asked me for for an elevator pitch.
Sorry for that.
Okay.
No.
Subtle tells, the success is in the details.
Yeah.
So Alex couldn't sell the product himself, or actually he couldn't commercialize it, just because whenever you're dealing with financial data from different competitors within the same market, you're actually under the competition rules from the European Union. And like if you need to aggregate financial data, then you become a hub and spoke cartel, and then you will get into like prison. Like literally, you'll go to prison if that happens.
So if you are sharing pricing data with a competitor and multiple competitors are sharing with one entity.
Exactly right. And that becomes a hub and spoke.
On the same market.
Exactly right.
Okay.
So then I realized, okay, perfect. We got the feedback from these construction companies. They were actually pitching to us because I was telling them that this is more of a co-development partnership. We'll build a product that will put it on the market with this company and all the fun stuff. We had like 3 pitches where those companies started pitching us to release the contract from these guys and just build it with them. When I saw something like that happening, competition started on building this type of product. So we then started meeting with the companies, and we're hearing everyone's pitch because like it was super important, right? We were the experts, the technical experts on the AI side, and they just needed someone that could
crystallize their thoughts into interfaces.
Right. Because everyone saw the opportunity,
and the
but
problem.
No one.
Because
and the problem,
everybody felt the problem.
Exactly right.
And everybody saw the opportunity, but nobody can sort it from themselves.
Exactly right.
So you had a bidding war while you weren't having any product yet.
Exactly right.
Okay, so that sounds like a nice market to be active in.
I have never seen something like this. And you know that we have been involved at TR rooms. When we got started at TR rooms, just for a bit of context, we started, I joined when the product was like around 50K in ARR.
It was more.
It was a bit more?
Yeah, no, it was more at that time. It was like over 1 million.
When I got started at TR rooms? No, but not for the entire company, just for the workplace experience product. Because do you remember?
Yeah, I understand. Okay. So it's a subset of the.
It's a subset of the revenue.
So the product.
Yeah. So just the product that we started.
Stop here, ask again, and we'll take that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we gone into
Yeah.
that don't make.
Don't make relevance. So ask that question again, and we're just.
I
Gonna
forgot where I left from.
No. So
So
I
you
started. I
started
mentioned
from
that I have never seen anything.
Yeah.
like that. So
I've
there.
never seen anything like this, right? So when I was at TR Rooms, as you know, when I joined the new product that was built, the workplace experience product, we didn't even know what that would become, to be honest. It was just like, a couple companies that requested.
But it was growing very fast.
It was going very fast. I mean, when Emil told me about the opportunity, I was like, oh my God, this is the right vehicle. I was waiting for this. And you know that in the previous project that I had, I was looking at the P&L and I was like, okay, so I make like 6,000 lei a month. This won't allow me to buy the Audi because I was focused since 2017 to buy my Audi and stuff like that. And
Audi the car.
Audi the car, yeah. So
what car
Emil,
exactly?
It was an Audi A5 2014, 2 liters diesel, 177 horsepower.
So that was the dream car.
That was the dream car.
That was the dream car. That you set when?
It was set on October 2017 when I needed kind of a refuge because like my parents got divorced then, and I had started visualizing so much so I can get out of the whole mess that was going on at home, and I needed like some other references in life, and I built my vision board for my entire life, and then I was like, okay, but I can't get there if I don't know what to do in the next 5 years. So then I just took a piece of paper and I started writing, and I was like, because I've sent you the documents, right? I've actually documented everything for the past 10 years. I just want to mention this to everyone, and this will also become a material for our investors so they can see that it's not just some kids that are trying to build some nice things. We're actually everyone involved in this project, from the C-levels to the last people that are actually doing the job. I mean, from the people on the ground, from the troops, because like everything is strictly related to a battlefield in my head, right? Everyone has that experience. Everyone has been honed through fire. But getting back to things, I started taking notes on the car, and I met a guy back then who actually allowed me to get just a grasp of that, because I have never been in an Audi. I have never been, because I'm from a small village, 600 people there. I've never had my mom, as I've mentioned, my parents are like, my dad isn't working, like his how is it called, like pensionat because de boală? Pension. Yeah, he's retired.
Medical reasons.
Yeah, for medical reasons, right? So my dad had this issue since he lost his eye through the accident and all the fun stuff. I've never had that experience, and I was like, okay, then perfect. Let's just take a.
So that was the moment that when you set it.
Yes, that was the moment when I said it, and that's why like literally everything that I did before was okay. Now I have to achieve my biggest dream, and my biggest dream is this, and the rest is kind of.
So just I'm gonna go back a little on the product that you're guys launching. So I think Emir was referencing to something quite nicely. So you had I'm gonna use your words. So you had a battlefield on a product that actually has not yet been released. Okay. So what's your guys' vision related to that product?
So what we plan to do is just take on Europe.
And how do you start?
It's simple.
What happens this week?
This week is the following. We are officially launching and getting out of stealth with TenderingOS, which is an operating system dedicated to tenders, because we aim to make Europe more competitive. We will start as the first step within construction companies, and that's how we will actually get within deploying the resources in every single market. As Europe has, the European Union has 27 member states, we will penetrate each market through construction.
What markets you will be starting in? In Romania?
Right now, because like a lot of people, I'm assuming, would watch this because we have a very carefully reviewed plan with all the PR agencies and everything else, the partners that we set in each country, the spokespersons and everything else. We will get started at first in Italy, Romania, and Spain. And other details regarding the other markets, they'll see.
Follow us for more details.
Follow us for more details, because right now we have partners in multiple countries, and I won't be able to say where they are based and stuff, just because like I'm I love like the Genghis Khan kind of methodology, right? And I know every single thing about all of the 44 competitors that we have across the European Union. I know every single thing about the founders. I mean, I don't know when they started smoking or stuff like that, but I know everything regarding their psychological profile. I know about their experience. I have everything because like
And
that's
what
my job.
do you think will make your product better than the
It's
competitors?
100% better because like right now what they did,
Tell us
sure.
two things that are differentiating and they are very difficult to be sorted by 2 weeks of development.
Sure. The first one is, and in AI, whenever we're talking about technology, you know that technology isn't a moat anymore, right? So if you know my
This is why I've
recipe,
Yeah, this
if
is
you know
why I've
my
asked.
recipe, you'll know that in the AI era, distribution is the most important thing, and distribution is happening through a team. So everyone from our team has been battle tested, as I've mentioned, in terms of business experience. And then our advisors, they are the actual guys that are making things happen. Because I'm not mentioning this from a perspective like they'll get to sales or anything like that. But for the past 6 years, I've been personally mentored by the first sales member of the UiPath team, Razvana team. He got started with the company back in 2007, and he was with the company until 2022. He was from the office 2 streets down from us, Delea Veche, an apartment there, 10 guys, to 4,500 back on April 21st, 2021, when they listed on the New York Stock Exchange. I also know everything about Daniel Dines, but
how
whatever.
do you battle test the team?
So like every single person that is involved now in terms of like direct involvement in execution or the advisors, I've had a personal connection with for the past like with Razvan. It started like 6 years ago, but with the others it was just like through the years.
So I'm going back just to nail those two things that actually make your product differently. What are those?
First, the team, because the team is the most important thing when it comes to AI.
And that is related to distribution.
That is related to distribution, exactly right. And then the second one is just like the functionality. I mean, and we know literally every single functionality that those guys have developed because we have their competitors matrix. As I've mentioned, we have 44 competitors in Europe right now. The most relevant ones because they're
Which is the most relevant one?
I won't mention their name directly because I won't want their companies to go and look over them. I don't want to give them any attention, but it will be important to note that there are some guys that started in Zurich. They are a spin-off from ETH. That's their university. They are like guys that got out of university. That's why you'll see why this is like a candy
shop.
No, like getting a candy from a kid because like I've actually like researched them and everything else.
For Genghis Khan, yes.
For Genghis Khan, yes. So they started as a spin-off from ETH Zurich.
But you need to burn some villages as well.
And I'm totally ready for that. That's why I had actually integrated my shadow, because I've watched and I've read Jung a lot, and I have integrated my shadow into an alter ego. And right now, like I'm integrated to I have a very specific requirements of doing stuff, and then I'm allowed to kill. I mean, not kill from that perspective. Apologies. It's just that I'm allowed to do anything that's required to achieve my objective, as long as it is legal, as long as it is moral and ethical. So I'm allowed to do anything to achieve a target, and that's why it was a missing link when we worked together, and that's why I couldn't provide direct feedback and stuff, because like you were always like my father or like my parent, and I wasn't able to give you direct feedback because I wasn't into that state, right? So right now, like whatever, getting back to the competitors, apologies because I'm opening a lot of
Yeah, so if you go back to, so you were actually going to enter, markets by markets around that, and you were mentioning the fact that, well, the team is one of the main differentiator that you feel that your company has, and the other one was the
other was actually the product, because like they are focused the product right now. So the problem that companies are facing, the problems actually, because there are multiples, are that you'll see that a lot of companies are focused, a lot of competitors are focused on find and analyze. finding opportunities, being connected to the European public procurement framework or the local national ones, and they'll just try to help you find better opportunities or the right ones for you. Some LLM integration to verify the thousands of pages and just give you some recommendations, insights. Yeah. That is just the first phase. That's 10% of the work, because the actual work for a commercial team starts in the build phase. The build phase is, okay, now I found the opportunity. Let's create eligibility. Let's create...
It's a very complex
It's
process.
a very, very, very complex process that might take like 6 to 8 weeks. So that's why we're...
With a team of 10
with a team of 10 people.
People working on it.
Exactly, and with the suppliers, because like this is just the internal team that's working on it. But just think about the entire supply chain, and just think about, because in the end, everything affects Europe. Europe right now spends 2.5 trillion each year on public procurement. 1.1% out of that, 28.1 billion euros, are strictly focused on pre-award on the tenders.
Question. I have a construction company.
Yep.
And
construction is just the...
it's the start.
Yep.
When I can start implementing the product and use it in my organization.
So right now what we're doing, we're developing, because we have the localized MVP for each of the markets that we have started working on. You'll be able to become first a co-development partner, because in order to have the product in each market, you need to localize it. Of course, language is the first thing. The core product is like 80%, so you can use it wherever you want, right? But in terms of localization, you need to first localize it in terms of language.
I'm in Romania.
Yep.
I'm in Romania. When can I start?
You can already start using certain functionalities. However, for the full product, we are going to give our co-development partners, the 25 that we have already signed, right, access to the entire... Gradually, yeah, because they are actually our beta testers. So they are actually, because, you know, this is the Playbook 101 framework. Yeah. We've already sold it, let's say. We've already found the right partners. We've already found the right companies. And we told them, hey, guys, we want to build this thing. This is how it will look like, because one of our biggest differentiators, as I've mentioned, is the team. But in each country, we have a very specific, like a very niched person who has been doing the job of the system for the past 18 to 20 years. In every market, we have a bidding specialist who has been focused on the construction bidding. The least experience our partners have is 18 years, right? Okay. So that's one thing. And then you need a legal framework, a legal person. That's why in Spain, for example, as you'll see when everything is released, we're working with a top legal mind. His name is Javier Vázquez Matilla. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. Javier, if you're watching this. And he is a top legal mind in public procurement for the past 20 years. He's an ex-member of the European Commission for public procurement on the European level. So we just brought the best experts. We're enabling them with the best resources, and that's it. I hope I'm pronouncing it.
And for the, let's say, you start right now, February next year, what is the ARR that you are forecasting?
I won't get into specifics. I will just say it's double digit.
Double digit?
In millions.
Okay.
Right? And by 2030, we shall have around 2,867 colleagues. Just don't... This is the number.
So more than 200.
No, more than 2,000.
2,000, sorry.
800, right? And that's the first thing. And also we should be at around 2 billion in annualized revenue. Because every single plan, everything is... We know even what our percentage... Because we need like 3 investment rounds, like 4, sorry. The first one is just non-dilutable because we'll do convertible loans and stuff. But otherwise, we'll need 3 extra ones, equity financing, and until our Series C, we shall be at 2 billion in annualized revenue.
And how does the pricing model work?
You have multiple kind of pricing models. So you know that you have the package that no one wants, right? If you're thinking about it,
the free one. The free one.
No, we won't have any free.
The basic one.
The basic one. But it will just be, you'll have each. I wouldn't want to get very specific about it, because co-development partners. In order to penetrate each market, we need 25 co-development partners so they can give us feedback in localizing the system and making sure that it works for construction before moving on, and horizontally scale to other verticals that we already know and we have already validated.
So pricing model is not yet fully defined. You are looking only at percentages from expenditure.
From expenditure, exactly right. So from we have an ROI calculator. We're going there and we say, guys, this is what it is. We have already signed.
What is the percentage of expenditure that you are targeting?
So right now around 15 to 20%.
20% of the yearly expenditure in pre-vetting or in bidding.
I will share it with you and with everyone actually, because I think about it. If I'm sharing it with everyone, but with Emil for sure. Our ROI calculator looks like this. So whenever we're starting discussing with a construction company, they're like, man, I just want to bid more. I don't want, because you don't have specialists in this industry. You don't find bidding specialists. And they're like, I want to bid more. I want to bid more with the same team because I can't find any other good experts.
More productivity.
So the productivity that we have agreed with companies is between 2 to 2.5x more bids. So if you like submitted 20 bids, now you can submit
today I do
40 to 50.
100.
Exactly, you'll probably do 200 to 250, yeah. But it depends on scale. I mean, 200 is a bit much, but yeah.
So you already have some competitors across Europe, yeah? Some.
4 of them are fine. The rest are just
4. You have 4. You have at least 4 competitors across Europe. What is the growth that they had until now?
So the company that started in Switzerland that scaled because they raised a 5.7 million euro seed round back in May 20 last year. I was
25.
2025. They scaled from Zurich to Germany and Austria, so they are still trying to penetrate those markets now. The other company that actually got funded last month, I believe, they're from Sweden. So these guys are YC backed and all the fun stuff. Like they raised 8 million. They're like literally. And with all due respect, guys, like I love competition and I highly respect you. I truly don't want to be like a jackass or anything, but they're just kids because like I've literally watched all of their footage online, and these are guys 23, 24 years old that just decided to build a company. AI gets a lot of attention right now, and they just raised 8 million because they got accepted and raised 500K from Y Combinator.
Microsoft and Google were brought up by people who are 20 years old.
Yeah, but let's look behind. Let's look behind it, right? So if we're talking about like the .com bubble and the .com era, those guys were at Stanford, right? Like both Larry Page and Sergey Brin were both at Stanford, and they've been both previously working on big data or whatever it is called then, search models and stuff. So they had track record, because the most important thing right now is track record. Are you able to deliver? If not, hype is everywhere. Everyone wants AI. Everyone thinks that AI is the future, but no one knows how to implement it. And that's why we're in the most privileged situation. We have the team, we have the experts that have been honed through battle. We have the product that everyone wants, right? And now we'll get the money and the right partner to scale this from Europe, because it's, the framework of the public procurement framework is like 2.5 trillion, and the UK, which is around 500 billion a year. So that's a 3 trillion, market, which like around 1.1, 1.2% is our total addressable market of.
You launched it this week, yeah? How do you define success good enough in order to celebrate with champagne after 1 month?
Nice.
So, like, let's put it this way: in order to
respond to my question, don't go around it.
I
felt you.
When you're answering, I would actually really encourage to answer from your personal perspective.
Yes, that's exactly what I want.
Okay. So something related to feelings, something related to a milestone that you have there.
It's not even about myself; it's just about the team, because these guys have been working 14 hours a day, right? So, like, no one can understand how hard everyone has worked in our team.
How big is the team
for
today?
the past? We have around, with all the specialists, like internal and external ones, around like 26.
And how big is the team that is working 14 hours per day today?
Around all of the guys, around 11 or 12. Because
Okay.
the other
So
ones are
this-
on no
this
vision
is-
dev, which
This
are
is the core
yeah,
team.
the core team that
the
are
core team is
we-
14 people.
well, actually, we exited. No, and I will get to your question because this is the most important thing. But we exited the services side just to be able to
Focus on the right stuff.
focus on the right
Yeah.
stuff and just make sure that everything is aligned with the next steps. Because I wouldn't want investors to think that I'm using their money to fund the payroll for the agency.
So
this was
how,
very important.
How is it look? How does
So
success
I
look
will
in 1
get
month?
everyone because for the we have our international partners. They have like they're part of the founding team in each country, right? So and these are guys that had worked in this thing for the past 20 years. Great people. They didn't get any money out of it. They got my promise that one day after we're raising the money, and I've signed with some of them since like August last year.
So how are you gonna celebrate?
I'm just gonna get the team and we'll have a long weekend together.
So what? How is the how? Sorry for me.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
So success in 1 month. How do you know it's a success?
We're raising euros seed round.
What do you need to show in order for this to be accessible?
Accessible from which?
Accessible meaning in order for people to bring in the loads of cash, you need to show something in 1
everything.
month.
No, you don't understand, guys. Like I've been planning this for the last like 9 months. If you're talking to my colleague Adi, like Adi will tell you that I had actually like every single thing that I've been doing because I have this need of control, right? That I've been mentioning.
Okay, so
like every single thing that so we have a list of 219 investors that have been qualified on multiple scenarios and they are vetted that they are a good fit for our investment thesis.
1 second, my brain has just suffered a little bit right now. Yeah, so you are telling me. Let me tell you what I understand.
Yeah.
So what do I understand is that you are launching today, like this week.
Yeah.
And you have planned for 7 months or 8 months to make sure that in 1 month you are raising round.
Yep.
This is
everything.
This is the measure of success for his.
This is the measure of success.
This is the measure.
But what he's actually saying is that there's been work before, and actually this is just like iceberg.
I'm
just
okay.
watching everything unfold, like
puzzling everything.
Have you
together.
seen The Dark Knight Rises?
Of course, but if
But
you
I
ask
don't
me a
remember.
specific scene in that,
So at a certain point there was Bane, who was
Yes.
right, and they mentioned when he got him on the plane what his plan is, and he responded, "It matters. It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan." And that's exactly what is here as well. Everything has been planned rigorously. I mean, I've been just watching things unfold for the past 10 years because I've mentioned now that I have everything documented and I will make it publicly available to everyone. Everything has been planned for the past 10 years. So the reason why I got started and I reached out to Razvana team to be able to learn from him in the past like 6 years was because I've seen the Forbes article, Boss of the Bots with Daniel Dines, or how they called him when they got listed on the New York Stock Exchange, Daniel Dines.
Boss of the Bots.
Boss of the Bots, yeah, in September 2019. And I was living in a 2-bedroom apartment. I had a colleague there because we had 2 rooms. And I've seen that and I was like, I have to, it just happens.
You are very bold.
Not bold.
No. You are, so
yeah.
I need to give you something. So,
Yeah.
So you are 100% bold in order to commit publicly to something like that, which which in hindsight, when we'll be probably looking at this after 1 year, it will be like, it happened just naturally. It happened just as planned.
Yeah.
But to commit to it in this way.
Guys, actually,
bold.
I have documented the past 10 years from working on 2 construction sites back in 2016 until now, because I knew that at some point people will start looking at me and will tell me that I'm crazy. This guy talks absolute dribble. He's not gonna do what he says he's gonna do and stuff like that. And I was like, guys, I have actually documented everything. I will make everything publicly available so you know that I'm not talking.
I remember something. Sorry. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt you. I seen you. Yeah.
Like
I was actually wanting to ask you if you have any last
I have
question
a last,
that you want to ask.
Not necessarily a question.
Like if you want, I don't know. Like, is it if we can stay a bit more. Like I can definitely do that, but I'm not sure.
He's the.
I'm the master owner
he's the
about the
master of
timing,
the
and
time.
I know
Yeah.
what audience usually tell us because sometimes we are too long around that.
yeah.
So I just want to make sure that we keep that condensed.
So there was something that I've seen at some point, and that is the difference between being determined and stubborn. It's identified based on the moment of measurement.
Yeah.
You are stubborn one day before the success and 10 years of effort, or you are determined one day after the success.
100%.
Yeah, so
That was very deep.
I don't know how to take that. but
Actually,
it's okay.
in a positive
In a positive way.
In a
yeah.
positive
Emil,
way.
when we met, we were at that Giulio back in 2019. I think it was maybe
We'll
March.
send the invoice to that Julio now.
Yeah. We were it is a restaurant in Bucharest, close to our office. When I got started at Yalok, so it was Emil, it was Dragoș Badia from Yarum, who I later started working with. It was Cosmin Magureanu, the CEO of Yalok, and Lucian Ghinea from 112 Hub. And when I met Emil, because I had this infection mad dog energy, and Emil looked at me and he said, "Man, like you're either gonna be very successful or you're gonna die."
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I'm saying the same thing today.
Again, very motivational.
Yeah.
I've got the tradition to actually close the podcast episode with a question, and I know we didn't get to the point of. I was also curious how you see AI, but we can discuss after that or in a different episode in world, not in the company. However, my question is the following. So if you can let me know in your private life. So when I say private life, I understand that, you're working 40, 60 hours for
No, I'm
for
working
that.
around like 17, 18.
17, 18.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in your private life, is there any thing or one thing that you are actually proud that you automated?
This is gonna sound weird, but Larry, I think his name is Silverstein, the guy that owned the two towers, the Twin Towers. He mentioned something. I think he's like 93 years old now, and he mentioned the most important decision you're ever gonna make is your wife. So right now, I have such a strong and deep relationship with my future wife, right? Because like we're not even engaged now, but she's my girlfriend. The kind of relationship we have, like I've never seen anything like it, and like nowhere, because like she understands my determination. She understands it's not even ambition. It's just like who I am, right? It's not like I want this because I don't know, I feel a lack of or whatever. It's just that I know I have visualized for the past 10 years that I have to get there. And you can ask Mihaela, by the way, our shared accountant, that like back in 2022, I started sending her an invoice, and the invoice was called BBC number 1. And she asked me, Laurentiu, what's with that name? And I was, Mihaela, it's not what you think about. It's Billionaire Boys Club. So getting back to it. Sorry?
So I'm going back to my question.
Yeah.
One thing you automated, because I'm pretty sure it
my
was...
girlfriend is doing
not
literally everything. Without her, like she's prepping all of my meals. I had lost 20 kilos in 6 weeks, 6 months, sorry. So I had lost a kilo a week by going to the gym and by eating right. And you know that because I was almost 105 kilos. So when I got started, like she supported me all across the board. Like she was helping me with the cooking and with everything. Of course, she's still doing that. I'm eating the same meals every day, even to this day, since the 26th of August of 2024.
That sounds very good to have somebody in your life like that.
Yeah.
I'm still going back to my question.
Yeah.
Automation.
Yeah.
Something you automated for you or for your partner.
Are you referring to in terms of like using AI to do
Yes.
that? I don't know, like my productivity is around 2,500
And you're using...
more.
Yeah.
I'm using literally, like I'm not even talking to people. I'm not even looking into contracts. Like I'm using, may I say the name of the...
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah. So right now the best, because you know that each model it has different benchmarks and stuff. OpenAI is going into a certain direction with their focus on B2C and just making money because they don't have any more and the funds are drying up. So their product, it's not the best right now, but I think it will probably be in the near future. I'm using Gemini for literally everything. So Gemini is the best tool for me, and I'm working on 7 different things, not at the same time because like I have symbols of purpose and stuff, but I just have the context there, and like whenever I'm getting a contract, I have a prompt, a predefined prompt in my Google Keep. I'm getting it from there. Okay, now tell me, this is who I am. I mean, I am the
You have the
beneficiary.
prompts, yeah.
I have the I'm the beneficiary. Please explain to me this. I mean, I won't mention please because
Yeah.
you know Sergey Brin actually mentioned that it's better to threat AI. So when I've seen that, I'm like, whenever I got scared last week because I'm threatening AI like super like a lot. And it is just because like the guy, Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, mentioned that it works better if you're threatening him. So my prompts are, do it now or I'm going to get you out of the...
Like Genghis Khan.
Yeah, but like the guy mentioned that it works and it actually works. However, since last week, I got a notification that humans will review my my conversations with Gemini. But it was like, guys, I'm just threatening him in a good
You are
way. Like,
disrespectful.
I'm not even disrespectful. I'm just telling him whatever I need, and then
more demanding.
Yeah, more demanding. Yeah.
You are an AI abuser.
Yeah. On that note,
AI abuser.
you're gonna have these elements related to there's going to be a police for investigating abuses
Well, that's the
around
thing. That
AI.
last week I got a notification that human review will start in my account, and I was like, guys, but you know that I just followed Sergey Brin's framework because he mentioned, and this is
Yeah, but
actually
he's Sergey Brin. Yeah, he sends
Whatever.
the police, the AI police.
will be the Sergey Brin of Europe,
I
whatever.
never considered to make myself an AI policeman. Without note, Laurentiu, thank you very much for coming. We wish you, that the launching goes very well this week. I'm looking forward to actually look at the media plan and see things in media about you guys. And I'm pretty sure that I know that it's recorded, but I'm pretty sure he said champagne.
Yeah, it was the champagne and
We need to meet
Or
again.
we are invited on that weekend. I'm not really sure. He said something, but thank you very much and all the best.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Love you too.